What's going on, DMG clan? Today I'm going to be modifying this Game Boy DMG with the V5 Hispedito IPS screen and a fancy transparent blue shell and a USB-C battery mod. Let's level up our modification knowledge even more with a DMG in 2024. DMG is short for DNA Mobile Gaming, by the way. Did you all realize that? That's right, mobile gamers. So today we're going to be giving this Game Boy DMG some new life. We're going to be doing the most easiest modification, I think at least, that you can ever do for any of these Game Boys. If it's the Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy DMG, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, the Game Boy DMG is actually the easiest modification that I have ever done in the past. I have done a few of these, and this one is actually for a family friend. So there's a problem with the screen. As you can see here, it has very bad lines through it. So we're going to be upgrading the screen, of course, to the Hispedito version 5 IPS screen. We're going to be upgrading to the battery modification with a clear back door. And yes, it has USB-C connectivity, so you can charge it over a USB-C cable. A blue clear shell with button membranes and everything. So the advantage of this blue clear shell is that it's already ready to go for this screen that is in this box. Now, I've had this thing on my desk for about a week and a half now, and I've been wanting to do it, but I've been busy with other things. So let's jump in and actually start this process. Now, I have tested out some games in this. The thing still works. My kids actually, when they go over to our family friends, play on this, and I guess their kids do as well. And wow, look at these batteries. Never seen these brands before. Not sure how old those are. But yeah, we're getting rid of all the batteries. We're going to be putting in the custom battery modification. Now, technically, if you only wanted to just use the custom battery modification, you could actually just put that in there and it'll work, I guess. So that is really cool to note too. If you just want to keep it original still and want to do an upgraded battery kit mod, then you could. And you can also use the back door if you wanted to, if you want to actually drill out your own holes for the back door. But that's not what we're doing today. We're giving this thing brand new life. Now we're going to be using tri-wing screwdrivers, and I'm not sure if this kit actually came with screwdrivers. I know some kits do, but this one, yeah, it doesn't look like it came with a screwdriver kit, but we're going to peel this off. We're going to get this prepped and ready to go. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. I do have some modification videos on here from this year mostly. I have a couple from last year as well. And I said at the beginning of this year, oh, this is already all kind of connected and everything too. That's pretty cool. That I was going to do more modifications and stuff like that for the channel. Now, I guess this is double-sided adhesive, I'm sure. And I'm trying to get this actual board out of here nicely. It's, oh, I guess that is all probably in this bag, but it's not anymore. So the really cool thing about this is that there's only one thing that we need to solder. That one thing is the speaker. Now, the polarity of the speaker doesn't matter, I guess. If I remember correctly, you don't have to actually worry about what wire goes where, and that is about it. Now, there's a little bracket here as well that we would have to get prepped, but we're going to do that afterwards, and then we will do everything else. So this little ribbon cable right here actually connects to this board, and then it connects to the motherboard, and everything just lines up nicely inside, and it just feels like an original Game Boy DMG again, other than the fact that it's all brand new parts and upgraded parts. So now I got a little case. Not sure what I can do with this. Maybe put that in there. No, it doesn't fit. So again, subscribe, check out all my other modification videos if you like this video, share, comment if you want to use this as a guide and a reference to installing your modification kit, as this is, like I said, the clear blue. This is what was actually chosen by the family friend, and yeah, they picked a nice color. And let's test out the durability of it. It does feel really nice. Now, you know, you run into problems with some shells sometimes, and this feels legit. Like, there's new screws in here, new buttons. Now, what do you guys think? I'm going to be using these new buttons, but do you think I should use the original buttons still in here? And we'll test that out maybe later on in the video. Maybe I'll change my mind while I'm talking, but we'll see. We'll see if those buttons actually fit. And you get a new front plate and everything as well. Now, you could order like a tampered glass one if you want to, but this is just a plastic one, and it's supposed to be made for the new screen. So let's take this apart. I'm going to stop rambling on and we'll take this apart and see what we can get done. So 2.0 bit, I'm pretty sure, is what we're going to be using. I highly recommend getting one of these kits. I'll put a link in the description below, and one of these blue mats if you're doing a lot of modifications like this, as I do use these a lot, and I use these toolkit, or this toolkit, a lot for other things like putting together the DNA Duo. If you guys don't know what that is, I have been sharing some sneak peeks about the DNA Duo, which is a dual screen attachment for anything basically. And what I've been promoting mostly for is dual screen emulation for your Asus ROG Ally, your Steam Deck, your Odin 2, or your Android handheld that has USB-C video output. And if you've watched all the way up to this point, then yeah, I've given you a little bit, probably too much information. But yeah, so that's basically what that is it's basically a screen that I have customized so that you can attach it to whatever device you want, and it has customizable clamps and all that kind of fun stuff. So we're just here basically taking out all these screws. This was the Y 2.0 bit from this toolkit that I'm using right now. And again, this is a pretty cool modification, and I did a Pokemon one before, and another just plain flat colored one before. Now again, there's other boards in here. So this board, we don't need that anymore. This board is going to be gone. You technically, all you have to do is just desolder this speaker and then disconnect this board, because this board right here has everything that you need in it to actually just put it in and swap it out. Now you can customize the original board and everything if you want to, or the original plastic if you want to actually to use the original shell if you wanted to. Now there's a way to do that. I'm not doing that today. I think it's a lot easier and a lot more fun to actually change the whole shell. So there are a lot of screws in here, and typically I would prop this up. I'm going to use my Squirtle pop figurine and pop this up here so that it doesn't bend out the ribbon cables or anything. Now the backboard is what we need the most, is the backboard. Now we technically don't even need to take all this out. I could just desolder this cable and not have to worry about it, but I'm just gonna keep doing this until I'm done taking out all these screws. So there we go, we got all those screws out. Now again, what I was saying is that you technically don't need to take all those out, because you could just peel this ribbon cable out just like so. So just wiggle it back and forth and then pull it straight out like that, and now you have that out. So it was sort of pointless for me to take that out, but I thought I'd just share how all of those come out. Now double check all of your screws. All I'm doing is pressing on the actual buttons right now to peel this out. Now if it doesn't feel like it's coming out, it might be stuck, might be a little bit sticky. This is an original motherboard from 1989, and there's the screen and everything all attached to the front. Now yeah, it is going to be easier for you to take out the actual buttons and stuff like that too, since I said I might use those, and actually desolder the speaker. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to desolder this. I will put a link in the description below for the soldering kit that I use a lot. I've used it for modifications, I've used it for hacking the Nintendo Switch, and a lot of other stuff. So all we have to do is, I usually, for any ball soldering tips, I just go like that and it just pulls right out. You just have to give it some heat and it pulls out. So you don't even have to worry about anything else. And now you can just keep this, maybe sell it, maybe clean it up a bit, spray some rubbing alcohol, as it looks like there's some juice poured on there. And I'm assuming there is, because this lady that I'm doing this for, she had kids, or has kids, and yeah, so that is something that you want to be wary of. So this speaker went in like this, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to poke these right through, just like so. Don't need this Squirtle here anymore. And right here you can see that I've poked them through the actual board. And now I'm going to grab some of my soldering wick and This one, I'm not using Flux because there's Flux in this, and this isn't really something hard to do. Now, you might want to use some Flux, but this will just connect. And I have my temperature set to about 450 degrees. A lot of you guys say, turn up your temperature on your soldering iron, and I have learned a lot about soldering this year alone, because I used to just do these kind of like little tiny things, and now I have advanced, I think, in my soldering skills, and it just takes some practice. Now, don't practice on something that's expensive, because you won't want to wreck it. I've wrecked a Nintendo Switch Lite because I didn't follow what they said by using like a microscope and stuff, but that is the only soldering that you need to do. So that is actually very exciting. I know my energy level just changed there, but I just like the fact that that is literally the only soldering that you have to do, and it's easy. It's the easiest soldering that you could do. You couldn't mess that up. Even if you're a beginner, you shouldn't be able to mess that up at least. Now, again, I'm going to take out these buttons. I am going to decide, comment on the comment section below, yes or no. Maybe I'll just change the rubbers. I don't know yet. If you think that I should be using the original buttons, which I think I'm going to. Maybe they'll look good with the new blue shell. We'll have to see. We're going to clean it up though. So, continue with a Phillips screwdriver bit. I'm using the PH0 bit for this. And take out the other board. Now, there's a board and a HDMI, or not HDMI. There's no HDMI in this. Auxiliary cable part right here as well. Now, of course, I'm going to be cleaning this board up with some isopropyl, and I'm just going to do that right now because it is looking grungy, and I'm going to be using a toothbrush that is clean too for cleaning this up. Now, you could use, there's a little brush in here, but I always say use an old toothbrush of some sort. Make sure to spray some rubbing alcohol on there and then clean it up first, and then start cleaning up your board nicely with a soft toothbrush. I'm gonna have to refill this soon. So it's just some 70% rubbing alcohol. Got it from the dollar store, and I buy like the big bottles of it, and then basically just refill it whenever I need to. So softly rub these pins down. Don't do it too hard because you could damage these pins. Now, these are ball solders, or whatever it's called, ballpoint solders. Like I said, my soldering experience has advanced this year, so all the terminology is still kind of fresh in my head and new. And then we're going to take out the screws for this side right here. And then we're going to clean up the interior of the actual card reader. Now, the card reader itself, or the cartridge slot, didn't have any issues. Like, I never had any problems with putting games in it yet. So we're going to pull this out. Now, I'm pushing in from the actual connectors right here. And there we go. Now, it's not looking too bad. It's not that bad. It looks like it does have some use. So yeah, this is something that we're going to want to spray down and clean a bit. And yes, you can just spray right to it. I do this all the time. Now again, like I said, there's another brush that comes with this kit. And this is the brush that I use sometimes for little stuff. And if you want to get in here, so just don't be too aggressive. Like I was not too aggressive there. You can wipe this down a little bit with a cloth and stuff. And then if you want to keep that there, you can. I don't know if they give you a new blue cover, which it doesn't really look like they do. They do give you gray start and select buttons and new membranes, so I might just use those. Now, oh, it does. It actually gives you a blue cover, so we can peel this out of here as well. This is for the link cable. Remember the link cable? That's how you played multiplayer games on your Game Boy. So that is, yeah, that's what that is. So I'm going to clean off this board. There's actual mat here with my cloth. Make sure you don't fly your screws everywhere. And up to you. I use the original screws usually and keep my other screws off to the side, but that is up to you. Now, for the actual installation process, there is already a ribbon cable attached to this. Now, I thought I had to attach this myself. I'm going to put this off over here. And maybe they did this because there's too many people that were failing at doing this. It's already bent the way that it's supposed to be bent and stuff too. Now, what I could do, which I think I'm going to do afterwards, I guess, oh, maybe they put adhesive here anyways. They did. They put adhesive here. Yeah, that's adhesive. So that you could stick this down and it doesn't move, okay? And that's exactly what you want to do. And then you're going to put this ribbon cable in here, just like so, because it's going to sit over top like this, the blue side outwards, and pop that little click tab, and you'll feel it click, and there we go. Now, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to peel off this front screen protector, okay? And then this, so from what I saw, you need to put it in a certain way, and I think it's this way if I remember correctly. So I'm going to double check that. So yes, we're going to put some adhesive on the inside of here. Now I'm going to be using, I think this is the clear adhesive right here. Yeah, this is it right here. So this is clear adhesive. To double check, I'm just going to clip off a little piece. Just going to use some scissors and grab a little piece of it. And you want to do this just because you don't want your board sliding around everywhere. And this is double-sided tape. So we're going to stick that on this side, which is the side that has like a ridge to it. And yes, so I'm going to use 2 pieces so that it'll actually stick really well. Because if my kids go back over there to be babysat, and that's what usually happens, they won't be able to break it. So I'm going to put 2 pieces up here, and this is double-sided tape, by the way. And then you can just peel off the top white piece. Usually, that's why I got my tweezers out, like so. Now again, this company didn't send any tools, so I highly recommend you, if you want to do this, get your tools, get your other parts, all from Amazon, because Amazon is a good place. If you don't like something, you can just send it back. Now for this part, yes, we're gonna have to line this up right off to the edge of that ridge and then drop that into place and make sure it's all nice and straight. Now that it does line it right up, and there is the screen right there. Now the cool thing about this screen, you don't need to worry about that because this is just the viewing area right there, is that it's long. So this screen is long like this because that's the viewing area, and then for the actual settings of the screen, you'll be able to move it around and stuff so that it goes up and down. They used like a widescreen version of this screen and basically flipped it. So that is the interesting thing about this. Now for this shell specifically, which is really, really cool, which I like, this just drops right over top of these posts. Now you could use the adhesive and actually get that in there, but I'm not using the adhesive. Now I think this goes this way. It doesn't go that way because the board is going to, yeah, so the board is going to flip over top like this, and then we're going to connect that backboard, which is this piece right here, to it as well. Now again, like what I was saying was that when we are ready and we have all these buttons and stuff in here, we can just drop this into place. Now you could use extra adhesive if you wanted to and stick it down, but I'm not going to, and I'm going to see if it doesn't move around or anything. So I'm just going to drop that like that, and I'm going to clean up these buttons quick. I'm going to put everything off to the side. Actually put that back in there. And there we go. So we're going to clean these buttons up. I'm going to use these original buttons, see what it looks like, and then I'm going to use the new membranes with it. So what I mean by the new membranes is that... Now let's double check these. Are these black? Yeah, they are black. So I'm going to use a mixture. I'm going to use the original pinkish red. They're like pinkish red. I always call it pinkish red buttons, and they do give you new screws and everything, which is nice. Now are these screws, yeah, they're all tri-wing too, so it's up to you. If you want to use new screws, then you could. There's the new plug for the actual board, so let's go plug that in first right here so we don't forget. There we go. And we're gonna clean these up. We're just gonna clean this up. I'm using the new, yeah, we're gonna use the new one. That's fine. Now the new membranes and stuff too, I always like to use new membranes just because the pads are good. They're not 35 years old. And that's the thing, this console is 35 freaking years old. Like, I am 34. I was born in 1990, if you guys want to know that. And I was kind of talking to my soon-to-be wife. Yes, we're not married yet. We've been holding off on the marriage, not for any specific reason, only because of things that happened in the world. And then we've been busy and we had another kid, and yeah. So anyways, that is besides the point. Rambling on again. You guys like me rambling on sometimes you don't. And I don't really care, because I like to ramble on when I'm doing stuff like this. So if you don't like it, then you know where that subscribe button is. You can unsubscribe and move on to another channel. And that's how I think of things. So anyways, let's plug these all in. So yeah, I'm going to be using the new membranes, the new D-pad membranes and everything. And they only go in one way. There's posts on each side like this. Like I said, this is probably the easiest modification anybody could ever do. If you want to do your old DMG nicely like this, then I highly recommend it. Because like I said, this is my third one now. It's not like I've done a lot of these. And I'm going to drop this post in here, just like that. You don't need to force it or anything. And then line up the posts on the outside like so. And why is it not going down? Oh, there's a little pad right here, I guess. So leave that on there. Don't take that off. There's a little foam pad right there that's making it so that it won't go down. Now, I'm not putting this on just yet. Don't put this on right away, because if you get some dust particles inside there or something, then you're going to be pretty ticked off if you have to take that all apart again and fix it and line it back up. Now, the speaker goes in one way. There is a little notch right in here in the plastic so that we can put the wire inside there if we need to. Or maybe this notch is for, oh, the notch is actually for the notch on the speaker. So there's a little notch on the speaker. I couldn't remember. So cool. There we go. So that's in there now. And do we screw this down? I think that looks good. I actually do think that looks pretty good. Now there's a problem. I noticed it before I even did anything. This rubber membrane pad wanted to come out. Oh. That's because I was putting pressure on it. And there. Yeah, I like that. I like the red. I'm sure the person will too, who is paying me to do this. And so there's screw posts right there. So these screws right here are going to be the ones that we use. I'm just going to use the originals, because why not? Unless they're thicker, so let's maybe use the new ones. So these are the Phillips ones, and they do seem like they're actually thinner, so maybe use the Phillips ones that are thinner. So there's a screw pull there, another screw pull right here. Now double check everything before you... Now again, you will feel some resistance. That's because there is a rubber pad right here, and don't worry about that. Now this clicks in because you're going to be able to like configure the settings and stuff like that on it as well. Now I'm just looking for any other screw posts. There's a screw post there and there. These are specific, so we're just gonna screw that down. And as you can see, there's some hair. See? Hair was in there. So yeah, you want to make sure you screw all this down before you actually or not screw it all down. Don't put the actual front plate on or anything. Now I'm double thinking this, and I think, where is it? I'm pretty sure two of the screw posts that I put in are part of the front, maybe. And the buttons feel really good. They feel responsive. Not that I can see if it's responding or not. Now we're gonna work on the back. So the back plate, there is already prongs for this, so you don't have to take out the old prongs. And we're just gonna drop this into place and line it up. And that's about it. It's just lined up just like so. So now we're gonna use those other Phillips screws. There was, I think, 2 over here and then 2 down here for sure. I don't remember if there's 2 or 3 at the board. Oh, make sure you're using the right ones. There's Phillips ones, and then there is the tri-wing ones. So you got to think about where the screw posts go through. Right here, right here, right here, and right here. That's what I was saying earlier. I think I might have... Oh no, I did it right. Okay. So yeah, there's 2 screw posts. All these screws that are here, if you want to take note of that, screw there, 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 and there, and nothing up here. So there's no screws up there. Now we have to finish screwing this in though. I think maybe this is where those screws go. So let's look for the other Phillips ones. Is it right here? So I said I think there was only 2. Maybe 3? No, that's the top one. That's what I do. I just investigate things, and yeah, it's just these 2 bottom screws right here. Now, what I'm going to do, this isn't very important. It's not something that you really need to do, but I like to do it because of shorts and stuff, like shorting out. Grab some Kapton tape, do it the length of those pins. Those pins are very important. And cover that just like so. Now we have that ribbon cable. Now this ribbon cable only goes in one way. If you remembered, it came out like this, facing upwards. So we got to get that back in there, facing upwards. Now the rise on these pins are very thick. So just wiggle it in there and then it'll go in. Now this side, I would assume it would still go in the same way. I think it might actually go in downwards. No, it goes in, yeah, it goes in the same way. Now, this might have been easier if I did this with it not all connected like this. So the pins are facing up again. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to put this in here first, and then put this one in here. Now, this part you might not be able to see, but yeah, I'm going to be, yeah, do the front plate first, and then try to line it up and just wiggle it back and forth. And there we go. And that's it. Got the buttons in the front. We got everything in the back. And just push it all together. And we need the power button. Don't forget about the power button. And we might not be able to put that in unless we take it apart again, which is exactly what we have to do. So don't forget about the power button. Now, all I have to do is take these bottom screws out. That's not a big deal. Let's put these over here so we know which ones they are. I can keep this ribbon cable connected like that. And then you can keep this connected. Just be very careful with it. And then just pull this out like this. And this only goes in one way. And that seats on there like that. And there's your power button, because that's your power button slash your holder for the actual game. So the games don't come out. If you didn't know that, you learned something new today. I knew that a long time ago. And yeah, you can bend that ribbon cable, push this all together, and if you wanted to, you could put something like down here or something if you wanted to. Maybe put your adhesive at the top, like just around the edge of the top or something, so you don't see it down there. Now, it doesn't bother me. It might bother some people, but let's get this all screwed together. Now, make sure it's all lined up. We're going to switch out to the Y 2.0 again, and we're going to look for all the Y bits. Now, there's one right there, there's one right there. You just got to find the hole, okay? And it's because of the resistance of the new cable. I'm going to do one corner and then another corner. Don't over tighten it. You don't want to crack the plastic either. You'll get a feel for it. That's just an extra Phillips. Put it over there. And the Phillips ones are like a brass color, and the other ones are like a silvery color, so you'll know the difference. Now, I sometimes just go like this when I'm screwing things in. Then just work your way around, get all the rest of the screws. There's another one right there. That's the last one. I think those other ones are Phillips, and I think they're just extras. Now, this did come with a cool blue battery door. I could technically like try to line this up and cut the hole out for it, which I don't know. There is the clear one. The clear one's cool. I think the clear one looks cool with that. What do you guys think? Put a comment in the comment section. If you guys liked the clear blue. Now, it was a little hard to get out of there, but there we go. Now, here is the battery mod. Now, we're going to test this out with the battery mod all at one go, because the battery mod is literally just a slip in place, and these pins, they only go in one way, facing downwards. And then you can double side tape the battery to that board. So use that double-sided tape that you got with this, and there we go. We can put that on there, peel off the white. Now you can just stick it down to the motherboard on the back like that, because it's going to go behind it. Then you just slide it in So you hit these prongs right here, slide it right in just like so, make sure it's turned off, and then put the new battery door on. Now you can push this cable, yeah, push it down right in there. Oops. Yeah, that's gonna want to try to come out again, but let's, just like that. It's in, it's all in, we can charge it, and then turn it on for the first time, and there it goes. Looking good. So again, yeah, you can change the settings and stuff. Now, it feels like it's stuck. So we're gonna try to unscrew it a little bit. I might have tightened it too much. Yeah, don't tighten it, over tighten it like I just did. And yeah, you can change the colors. There's a number on the top left-hand side for when you're in the settings section. Change it to whatever color you want. There's a whole bunch of colors, it looks like. There's the original. Then if you hold down the left side, you can change the brightness levels to the battery. And then if you need to change the V position and stuff to move it around on the screen, you can. And I don't like how this slider is seated. It's not really seated nicely. There we go. I loosened it even more. There we go. That's a lot better. Like I said, you can move the V position. So if you think that it's not in the right spot, you can move it like all the way down if you wanted to. As I said, it's like a screen that they just flip sideways. And then try to line it up the way that you want to line it up. And there's different modes for the pixel effect. Color adjust. You can change like the colors to like a manual mode. But I'm going to leave all that stuff. I'm not going to mess around with that. I'm not sure how to get it back out. Maybe hold it. And you can factory reset it. So that's back to square one again. Dim it. So the brightness still just works by itself. That's pretty cool. So that's the main function. So if you want to turn it like all the way down to about 10, which I think looks fine, then you could. Now what we're going to do is finalize the actual installation process, pop in a game, and be on our way. So I'm just using a normal window cloth for this. I'm going to be cleaning this off, making sure there's no dust particles in there and stuff. And then to actually give it an extra, making sure there's nothing in there, I flip this upside down, laying flat on the table. And I will use my electric duster. Make sure you don't blow it on your table. And then lay this flat like this. And then this part, make sure there's no fans running or anything in the background. Leave this facing downwards like I'm doing right now. And with your nail or tweezers, keep it like this, just like a screen protector. And then quickly drop that into place, just like so. Is there a screen protector on the front? Yeah, it looks like there is. And there is. There's a little piece of plastic on the front too. Maybe you want to leave that on. I don't, because I think it adds glare. Now, pop in my favorite game. My very first Pokemon game, that is. We'll be on our way. Now let's change that V position. There we go. That is awesome. Think about there. That looks good to me. And the brightness level, I would turn that down to like 10. 10 to me is a huge upgrade and looks really good. So you can change that. But if you press it once, this is when it changes. Ooh, look at that coloring. Let's go back to that. Let's find that color again. I think that color was number 4 or something. 36 colors. Was it this one? No. 6. I like that. 6 almost makes it look like it's a Game Boy Color. There. Now you can actually see it. That's number 6. And I can continue where I left off and actually see my game. That looks really good. That is amazing. Let's fight a trainer. There you go, guys. There is the Game Boy DMG upgraded with my favorite color of Game Boy, which is like a light blue. I did a pocket in this as well. Hope the lady that I did this for really enjoys it. And again, yeah, you can charge this with a USB-C cable in the back. And it lights up. Looks fairly nice, I guess. So really cool. Charge this with your USB-C cable and have a nice day. I love you all. Hope that was helpful. I know my tutorial videos on these kind of things for modifications are long, but this is probably the easiest one I've ever done. See you next time. Subscribe, like, and share.